Hello, my friends. It is episode 11 of the Finding Freedom podcast with Jayashrii. That's me. And I have a great question this week to address. And it is, what do I do when I find myself in what looks to be a no-win situation? So this is really good because when we're in this situation, we just feel like there's no way out, there's no good choice, no right answer. Two bad choices sometimes is what this looks like. So no matter what you do, the results or the outcome seems grim. Have you ever found yourself in this situation? Are you in this situation now? So what I would say is that anytime we are hearing what we often refer to as a voice in the head that is telling us there's something wrong, we know that that is ego. And we know it's a lie. And we can basically call thoughts ego. The mind is ego. Of course, there are many ways to define various terms depending on the tradition or the philosophy that you're associating with, but for the purposes of the way that I look at things, and I'm very Zen in my approach, the mind is the ego. Yes, we use the mind for things like writing a grocery list and learning how to drive a car or play an instrument, but we use it as a servant and not as a master. It's a horrible master. And when we realize through awareness practice, which is basically what happens when we are meditating, we're watching our thoughts, and we see that there are essentially a select group of, quote, stories, end quote, that are cycling around in our head all day long, every single day. And we get familiar with this as we meditate. And we learn to see those stories for what they are and let them go so that we can actually be present for our lives. So these voices in the head, when they come up with, which is typically what the theme is usually variations on a theme of something's wrong and it's your fault, or it's somebody else's fault, or somebody else is wrong. Anything along the something wrong lines. And again, if we just turn those voices on their head, do a 180, we can know that the exact opposite is true. So let's say you're in this situation where it seems to be a no-win, and maybe you have two bad choices being presented to you. And of course, maybe they aren't even bad choices, but they're being presented in that light. How do you use what I'm talking about to alleviate this suffering in this situation? You come back to the now. We come back to now, this present moment, and we let go. We step right out of the stories. We can't solve them. They're not solvable. They're illusions. They're imaginary. They're smoke and mirrors. And if we try to noodle around in our heads, solving these incessant scenarios put forth by the ego or the mind, we will be suffering for the rest of our lives. There are infinite possibilities that exist in any given situation, not two. And there are also miracles. There are the invisible helpers in the invisible world that are guiding us. And you may or may not be familiar with that, but they're there. So our job is to get out of the head, let go of the stories of something is wrong, and come into the present and the power of now. From there, we are letting life live us, and we will be open to the intelligence that animates us, to the consciousness of the whole, to inform us and guide us from a place of presence and gratitude and infinite possibility. So let me know what your thoughts are on this and share in the comments below. Please feel free to like, share with your friends, hit the notification bell and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And again, it is my pleasure and honor. Thank you very much for your time in light, love, and presence. Namaskar.